Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. So this one is an Alliance War video here where GT40 have matched up against Legion. So in this war, this is war number 4 of the season so far. And Legion have been doing really well. They're really high up there in the current sort of war ratings and the leaderboard. So it was a matchup that we were kind of expecting. You can see there the bands of Ghost, Torch and APOC. So, between the officers and myself, we managed to give myself Quake, Dr. Doom, and then Havoc, mainly for one specific fight, but then we just kind of worked around the paths just because of the one specific fight in the counter. So you're going to see here I joined very soon, no one else was even in yet. I just said that I'd clear this section 1, and then everybody else could just move when they were ready, and the shared fight here would be taken down already. So there's aggression, prowess and critical setup. So we're going to just use Havoc on this and just start getting myself warmed up with Havoc again. It's been a little while since I've really used them properly. We're going to go into this war, and most people I imagine already know, but this was definitely not GT40's best showing. I have a couple of these invuln boost and power star ones and stuff overflowing, so use one now. I'll do this fight and the next fight with the same invulnerability boost. So the plan here is to just get to a special free, and me being the tool that I am, I definitely should have put on a power back boost, but didn't for this fight because I was more bothered about the one that I needed it for later. Didn't even think, just decided to go into this fight. And this one's just pretty much beat him up. There's nothing really major to it. Bait a couple of special ones. Don't let the prowess get too crazy, especially not if you're going to bait the special one, then just don't let it hit you. And apart from that, the fight is pretty steady. There's nothing really crazy or extra to it. The main thing about this is it probably just stops like a Dr. Doom or something like that. But these guys did really good defender placements to counteract the APOC ban. First time we'd seen that, so fair play to them. Again, this is one of them things that it kind of just took us like an extra little bit of time just to try and plan around it because we hadn't seen it. And yeah, some of the defender placements because of that really hurt. But luckily for us, we get around it for the majority of the time with weird placements. So that's just the way that we are, it kind of works. We get hit by a very unfortunate disconnect very early on into the war. We end up getting 2 disconnects in this war altogether. So 2 of the deaths at the end sadly were disconnects, but that's what happens. A lot of people from a lot of alliances were suffering. Potentially Legion suffered from a couple of them themselves. I'd like to hope they didn't suffer from as many disconnects as what the difference was in the end, but you never know. It's what it is, this way the game works sometimes. It's really annoying. So the game plan here is to kind of just push Moleman around with special 1s, special 2s, let him throw them, and then I'm going to wait until I have a special 3 ready, build up the ebb and flow knockdown, and then once I have that Fury and the special 3, just to try and go for it. There he actually shrugged off the parry, so at this point I'm like, right, okay, I need to just be 100% certain. And you can see here that I throw this off, go for the special 3 with Havoc, and honestly I just assumed this would kill him. It didn't. I don't know whether I didn't get the detonate or not after because of the debuff immunity, so I didn't really ever notice, but then I just noticed that it's down to like 20%, so the fight's still really in my control. After this I only have one more fight to do with Havoc, so I don't need to worry too much about what health I've got as long as it doesn't go crazy low. And just don't hit into Moleman's block here, that's all I'm telling myself. Do not hit his block, do not hit his block. Even if you have to parry 14 times for one to stick, do not hit his block. But you see, if I had a power back boost, I'd already be back at a special 3 by now. And this is what I mean by I messed up and I definitely should have applied one. think he's here. I kind of just pause for a little while, and then I just decide he's only on 12%. Let's just go for it. So there, I actually was really late, just watching to see if the parry. I just decide here, right, just throw it. If he throws a special 2 or whatever, then so be it. But there's absolutely no reason to. He's dead, and it just basically cost me a potion for nothing. So that's the first 2 fights of this war done, this war in general, because naturally nobody in any other battle group had joined. And at this point, so the tough fight that I knew had coming up was this one here with Nick Fury. So with Havoc, again, most people would probably just apocalypse this and just nuke through it. Power back boost, special 2, special 2. The fight's done. Obviously that was taken away from us. So at this point, we now have to deal with using Havoc on this Nick Fury. So the officers between ourselves, we decided that the best way to do this was going to be dance around. Tell Havoc he's going to salsa class and he's got to dance around to earn his living and to get through this fight. So by this point, the war was well underway. The disconnect, like one of them had already happened, sort of thing, and the war was still a draw at this point. So it's very close. And I wanted to do this fight before I went to bed, which is the reason why I literally solely boosted for this fight, just to get it cleared, because I just didn't want to go to bed and then wake up and have to do it the next morning. I was at the point where I wasn't 100% confident in my in myself or anything, or getting it done. This AI loves to throw specials into block, and you can see here that I kind of take a few of the hits into the special 1, into the block, and then I take a few hits to the face. And that's just because the disorient was there and adding up, and I didn't want to make the damage that I was getting so crazy that it hurt. So you can see here, I'm just letting the plasma charges build up. I'm just dancing around, just trying to get my special free because of Havoc's natural power gain of 2.5% of a bar of power. So now what the plan is to hit that parry, push him a little bit over special 1. So when I throw the special 2, special 3 even, it will give them a special 2, and that's just the way it is. I can bait that. I was hoping this would kill them. It didn't. It left them on 16%, and you're going to see in a second I'm going to make a huge mistake. So here, I actually threw the special 3 just because he'd survived and I was a bit flabbergasted. This was a bad idea, because the mutant power back boost will only give me power back based on how much health they've lost. So you can see here, it didn't actually give me a crazy amount of power back. So now what I need to be able to do is I need to keep punching Nick, like when he's in his corner, and block, try and force the heavy attacks, and then kind of not let them throw a special 1 if I can help it, and start to dance around even while they're DJing. So you're going to see here there's going to be a lot of dashing back, not really attacking, going forward, letting them dash back, just chilling around, punching into the block to try and make sure I don't give them a crazy amount of power but keep myself a good distance. And here I'm up to a special 2. So I'm thinking to myself, right, it's probably another 10-15 seconds and then I can get this special 3. So here it was just 2 hits into the block, just because I really don't want to give them that special 1. They actually hit me there, so they got the disorient and the fury. And now I'm like, right, all I need is a special 3 to come in like my favor. And then once this actually just hits and I get the special 3, this fight's done. It's well over, and you can see here that's going to be the case. But for me, this was by far the most stressful fight of this war. It was tough. I've only used Havoc a handful of times, especially in this sort of tier of war. I wasn't very confident going into it that I'd be kind of good enough or it'd work out well, but it did, and luckily we came out of it with the full attack bonus, which at one point in the war looked like it was going to be very crucial. We were very much neck and neck for a good portion of the war, and that's going to sound weird because you're seeing what boosts I'm using, but for these next fights I'm very confident that I should be fine with an invulnerability and just even these boosts. So this is a spiked Penny Parker, so you can quake this, that's fine. All you have to remember is that, especially in the middle of the screen, when Penny goes to throw a second attack, so it's normally a medium and a light, her light attack will completely whiff if you're heavy into evade. So you just have to remember that, get into your corner. Eventually you can parry heavy a few times until the first concussion and aftershock kick in. At that point, while the concussion is active, get a dexterity, and then you can see the rest of this fight is just quaking in the corner. That's about all there is to it. When we did the assignments, we had the choice of Quake or my rank 4 Hercules, but I didn't really want to use Hercules here on a fight where they were going to be completely unramped, and they were just going to kind of just lack the damage and probably trigger spite from dexterities or buffs or anything else. So Quake was easier, Quake was simple, and that's how that fight can and should go. Now we've got a rank 4 Doctor Doom against a Vision Arcus. So if I die in this fight, I'm more than happy for them to kick me. And I'd probably demand they kick me. So for the first while, I only keep baiting special ones where I can, just because I feel like it's a little bit easier, and you can see my power is already going crazy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let them throw the special 2 into my block. Not really letting them, but it's just what the AI seems to want to do now, is purposely throw specials into your block when you're holding block. Always good fun. So now I've got the special 3, and it's just literally going to be a Doom cycle. Get this Vision Arcus. You can see the damage that it's doing. Rank 4 Doctor Doom's a tank anyway, but against an Arcus it shouldn't even be a matchup. Straight back to a special 3 again. You can see I'm clicking on the button, I'm doing the special 3 wiggle dance. Just trying to be able to throw it before they can. And yeah, that's how this fight kind of goes down. You can see it's going to end on 5% health from that special 3. And then a couple of hits, and that's it. So that's actually my contribution to this war done. I only had 5 fights. You're going to see here that the Battle Group 3 actually had a really poor performance, dying 4 times. And yeah, that's the final scores for the war. So again, not what GT40 won, not what we expect from ourselves, but it was a good war nonetheless. So GG's to Legion. Really hope they have a good, successful rest of the season, and thank you very much for watching.